How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to our very first Cyberpunk TCG video. This game was just announced, or I guess maybe it was like stealth announced a few weeks ago, but it was officially announced today, or maybe yesterday. You'll be watching this one day in advance. But anyway, I am incredibly excited for this game. If you didn't know, if you are new to the channel, well, I basically live and breathe trading card games, and Cyberpunk, both the genre and the actual Cyberpunk franchise, is just one of my favorite things. I know a lot of folks who are regular viewers of the channel know that I like, sci-fi stuff. Gundam is a big thing here on Red Zone Rogue, but I have been a big fan of Cyberpunk for a very long time. I play Cyberpunk Red, the tabletop RPG. I did a video a few years ago on the old Cyberpunk 2020 trading card game from like the late 90s, or was it like early 2000s? A while ago. It was a little while ago that we've had a previous Cyberpunk trading card game, and this one is looking to be amazing. So we are going to dive into it today. We have a bunch of cards to kind of talk about. We have some mechanics to speculate on. There was an IGN article that was released, but it didn't really talk about mechanics. They're kind of keeping that under wraps for now. So you can go check out that article. We're going to showcase all the cards from that article, but you can go read that and you can read about the company. We're also going to talk about the company and the developers, because I think this is also interesting as well. Because they're brand new to the TCG industry, from what I can tell. It's not a game made by like a Bandai or Bushiroad or whatever. You know, it's really new, and I think that's interesting, and I kind of really like it. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our overlay. We're going to dig into the Cyberpunk TCG today, look at some of the cards, and just kind of speculate a little bit. I'm really excited for this one. So let's do it. And here's our overlay, and of course you can see I've kind of like, made it all cyberpunky, at least a little bit. Female V is going to be hanging out with us today. So yeah, here is one of the kind of like splash arts and banners that I've seen so far. It has, your boy Jackie here. I didn't mention this either, but I literally have hundreds and hundreds of hours in 2077. So I've played a lot of Cyberpunk, and I both tabletop and video game version. So if you couldn't tell, I'm pretty stoked for this one. Here's one of the announcement things that they, like, images. So obviously we have a female V with Johnny's jacket, and it says CD Projekt Red backed Cyberpunk TCG revealed, featuring characters from 2077 and edgerunners. So the first set, at least, is confirmed to feature a lot of characters from, well, 2077 and edgerunners. And they also said and more, basically insinuating that we'll get other characters from the Cyberpunk universe in maybe future sets. But they did say specifically for this first set that they really wanted to capture the feeling of Night City and 2077, which makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. So there's that. There's also this image of Lucy. I have a better image of this card that we can take a look at in a little bit, but we can kind of see that we have a legend card. I think these might be kind of like your leaders or your commanders or something, but it also, some effects imply that you might have more than one, and it's definitely not like your grunt units, because there are cards just called units as well. So like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of speculating here because we don't know how to play, but things look interesting. It looks like a combination of a unit-based game with some weird stuff that, well, we'll talk about here. So yeah, and once again, the art is all original art, and we'll talk about the art like right now, because let's talk a little bit about the company. So the company that's making this game is called Weirdco, and their first project and collaboration is with CD Projekt Red. And if you want to know a lot more about the company, go read that IGN article. They kind of go into it a little bit. But some things that just resonated with me is just their mission statement. And I think this is kind of the big selling point for me. It says, Weirdco was founded for the deep human connection that TCGs create. Our goal is to build a community with soul that fosters the magic of trading cards that we grew up with. No AI in our games. No compromise. Weirdco exists for players who want to feel, create, and connect, to make games that remind us what it means to be human. And I just absolutely resonate with everything that's going on here. I love the sentiment. I love the commitment to no AI, to like just the human experience. That's what makes TCGs so great. I'm not going to go on a soapbox right now, but one of the thing that makes TCGs what they are is that like face-to-face human connection and that interaction with people. It's what sets it apart from like digital card games. This year I tried to do digital TCG content or digital card game content creation, and I kind of like bounced off it pretty hard. And I just realized just how much I love physical trading card games and how important they are to me personally, and you know, getting that human connection. And with that, I want to lead to the next point, and this is a tweet by one of the CEOs from CD Projekt Red saying that the Cyberpunk TCG is physical only. So this is the most concrete confirmation you could possibly get that this game is a physical only card game. This is not a digital card game. It's not a hybrid. It is literally just physical only. So like an old school physical only TCGs with all human made art. That right there, you gotta get all the checks in line. So now let's actually take a look at some of the cards and start talking about what they're kind of cooking here. So here is that Lucy card. By the way, Edgerunners was fantastic, obviously, and I'm pretty stoked for the next season of Edgerunners. And as you can see here, Lucy is a legend. I don't know what this ×2 means. And this little dash here, we'll see this have a number later. I assume this was the cost of the card, but I'm not sure after looking at some of the other stuff. She also has an ability called overclocking. By the way, I think this is like a full art version of the card. This is like a promo card that you can get for signing up for like their for the Kickstarter. There's going to be a Kickstarter for this as well, but the game is also backed by CD Projekt Red. So they're making the game in conjunction with CD Projekt Red, and they're also going to be doing like a Kickstarter kind of deal. Here we also have a image of what the card back looks like. I think it looks really sleek. The bright yellow is very, very like, you know, Cyberpunk 2077 pilled, but also I think it makes it really unique in the TCG industry. This card back really stands out. I wonder if they're gonna have any like textures or anything on it. I think it could be really cool looking. But yeah, and going back to the Lucy card, we don't have too much else to glean from it. So we're gonna look at a lot more other cards today, but we do have whatever this is going on the bottom. It looks like maybe a collector number or promo number, something like that. And then whatever this symbol is right here. And then whatever overclocking does. And then she has some flavor text as well. Got this feeling you and I'd make a pretty good team. Yeah. Sad. Anyway, not going to spoil Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's very good. You should go watch it. All right, more cards. These are cards that were all revealed by IGN. So we have more legend cards and like alternate art versions, which are really, really cool. So here we already have a confirmation that we're going to have like, you know, chase versions. This is like an alternate art, full text, or rather, full art version. So let's take a look at Takamura here. Good old Goro Takamura. I liked him. I think this might be a cost, but like I said, I'm not really sure. We also have this other multiply here, and this is a legend. This is Goro Takamura, hands unclean. And then we also have his types, I assume, so Arasaka and Corpo. And then he has this ability called Go Solo, which is great because Solo literally is like a class in Cyberpunk, or like Cyberpunk Red. So Go Solo, play this card's cost, which I think is this, but it might be this. I don't know if they did a whole swaparoo and did like, here's the attack power, here's the cost. I don't know. Play it, and then as a ready unit, and it can attack immediately, which is pretty good. So Go Solo is kind of like giving something haste or storm or whatever you want to call it. And he also has blocker, which Gundam card game fans might know. This works similarly to Gundam, right? When a rival unit attacks, you may spend this unit to redirect the attack to this unit. That's literally what blocker in Gundam does. But I have reason to think that it's going to be a little bit of a different vibe with attacking based on some of the other cards we'll talk about as well. It looks cut and dry right here. You're like, okay, I got this. It's like a unit. Here's the cost. Here's the attack. Here's the effects. It gets haste. Yada yada. I don't know, man. we'll get into some stuff. And then obviously here's this really, really cool looking alternate art for this card as well. Obviously they're crediting the artist here on the side. And then we didn't talk about, oh, this might just be for promo purposes, like this thing here. And then we have this, and we can see this thing here and this. This is one of the middle's a little bit different. So it's probably not gameplay related. It's probably like set or, you know, collector number-esque kind of deal. Obviously this is not a number, but you know what I mean. So yeah, there we have Goro Takamura. All the cards that IGN revealed were Arasaka cards. So now we have Saburo Arasaka. This one has a little dash in the top like we saw with Lucy. Another little ×2 here. Still not sure what this is. Stubborn Patriarch. We have this, which might mean, this might be their faction, maybe? With the money, might mean like Corpo. Hey, did Lucy have the money? She did not have the money. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Also, Arasaka, Corpo. Your Arasaka units have +1 power when attacking. And then it says this. Units steal an extra gig for every 10 power. Also, Saburo has zero cost here. What? What does this mean? Steal a extra gig. So maybe the conceit of this game is instead of like killing your opponent, you need to steal a certain amount of gig to win. Like you're trying to out, you know, edgerunner them, right? I don't know. Anyway, here's the alternate art for Saburo. Looks really good, actually. You can see that this piece of alternate art and this one are kind of like along the same lines. I didn't talk about the Goro's or Takamura's art either. Looks really good. I think just this game in general looks really good. The frames and stuff are kind of minimal, but I like it. It has like this, evokes like the neon sense, you know, that Cyberpunk should. And it's not like super chunky and overcrowded or anything. So I don't know. I dig it. I dig it. I do know. I dig it. So that was Saburo. And then we also have Yorinobu Arasaka. So this is a red card. So we saw a couple different colors, right? We saw Saburo and Takamura are green. We saw red here with Yorinobu, and we saw Lucy being blue. So we do have a couple different color variations. This one's Embracing Destruction. Once again, has a little dash at the top. Not sure what this means. Could be the cost, but is it free? I don't know. ×2 here. And then, once again, Arasaka Corpo. The first time a friendly Arasaka unit attacks each turn, you draw a card. Then, if you have less than 20 star street cred, or maybe just 20 street cred, discard one card from your hand to your trash. Okay, what's street cred? So now we have gig, and we have street cred. Like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit different than what you're thinking. And these are just legends. These are not units, because it mentions units. We'll showcase some units in a moment. But check out some alternate art Yorinobu stuff. Yeah, this game just looks so cool. I'm so into this. And you can see like the time or the date down here is already 2026, which is when this is planning to release. So those are the cards that were shared by IGN. We also have another card. So I have a high-res version of this one. This one is also shown in the trailer. We'll watch the trailer too because there's some cards to talk about in the trailer. So here is Dying Knight. This is a piece of gear. This one has a ×3 here, and then it has a 2, which once again I assume is the cost. This one's a Merc weapon. You equip to a unit or a face-up legend. So here's another thing. Legends can be face down. I suspect that we're going to start with maybe one legend face up and a couple other legends, because it feels like with other card text, feels like you can have multiple legends. So I'm thinking we're going to be starting with, like, you make your deck based around a couple different legends, and then you have one face up, and then you can somehow turn the other ones face up. I digress. This one says, attack if you have 7+ street cred. Defeat a rival gear card that costs 2 or less. This is Dying Knight V's pistol. And also +2. I assume this gives you +2 to the attack. So that I guess that adding these together, I assume this number here on the bottom then is the attack, which makes sense why Takamura has 7 and then like Saburo has like none. So yeah, once again, very cool art, very comic book style art on this one. So this is a weapon that gives you +2, and then on attack you have like this on attack effect. I'm not sure if we can glean like rarities or anything. It's like an A here, maybe A for alpha. It's A31, A001, A5. That's my guess. All right, so now let's dig into the trailer and check out what they have here. I muted the trailer. It has great music, but I don't want to get content ID matched. So we'll just play through the trailer, and we're going to pause it when we get to some cards. You should watch, the trailer's like a minute long. You should watch it, and you can listen to the sweet music. All right, let's do this. Cyberpunk TCG. All right. So here we have Psycho Squad, so like the Cyber Psycho unit. Once again, this is a unit card. So I think these are going to be like our dudes, right? Like your creatures, or, well, it's a unit, right? I think this is going to probably the cost. We have a power down here. This one says this unit gets +1 power for each of your face-up legends. So this is what makes me think we're going to have multiple legends, because it says for each of our face-up legends. So once again, my theory is we're going to get like 3 makes a lot of sense to me, because just like that's just how deck building and TCGs work. Like 3 makes a lot of sense because it gives you a lot of flexibility. 2 can make sense as well, but having 3 is just like a good number for like a squad, right? It has flavor sense. Like it's Cyberpunk, right? You squad up with your team. Well, not in 2077 because you're just playing V, but at the beginning of 2077, you have like Jackie and you know, you have your squad. So, well, here's a Psycho Squad. So yeah, anyway, I think units are going to be like creatures, and they attack and do that kind of stuff. And also, I think this alludes that we're going to have multiple legends as well. My guess is 3, and some of them start face down. Maybe all of them, but that's my guess. And here we have Off-Duty Malfini, you know, good old voodoo boys. This is like a 2-cost unit. This one has a × 5 here. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's like some sort of discard mechanic, like when you can discard this card to get some effect or something. 2 power. When this unit attacks an opponent directly, you can only complete a gig with 3 or less street cred. So there's gigs to complete as well. Like gigs are something that you complete, and you need street cred. Like the gigs have street cred. Once again, I think the mechanics are going to be much more complicated, or at least much more interesting than just I attack your life points. So we got gigs to complete. We got street cred. Let's check out some other stuff. All right, here we have Swordwise Hustle. This is another 3-cost unit, 3 attack, 3 power. On play, choose one of your gigs. It gains +2 street cred. So maybe what you have to do to complete gigs is maybe you get street cred, and then it helps you complete the gigs, and maybe you need to complete a certain number of gigs to win. Once again, I don't know. That's my guess. Flex your Chrome. So here we have some like equipment. So these are Mantis blades. This kind of reminds me of the original Cyberpunk 2077 trailer, right? I think in the lore that the lady who was like all borged up and had the Mantis blades ended up becoming like working for the police. I think so. Maybe that was just like a rumor. Anyway, this is a 1-drop +2. It's got a little ×1 over here, and it just says equip to a unit or face-up legend. So, sure, this is kind of like it looks like a standard 1-cost pumper, like a good old the axe from Magic, from Mirrodin. Here we have Kuroshi Optics, 1-drop, has a little ×1, +1, equip to a unit or face-up legend. This one's a cyberware implant, and on attack, look at a friendly face-down legend without revealing it. Once again, legends are face down. I feel that they're going to start and play face down. Once again, my guess is 3. And so maybe you're not supposed to be able to look at them. Well, obviously this card implies that you're not supposed to be able to look at them. So maybe when you flip up your legend, it's kind of like random. So apologies for the the notification, Adobe sending me notifications while I'm trying to record. All right, let's keep going. Wait, hold on. Go back. That was quick. Mandibular upgrade. So another 1 cost. This one gives you +0 times 2 up the top. And I think it just gives your dude blocker. So it's a cyberware implant, equip to a unit or face-up legend, and then you just give your dude blocker. And like we established earlier with Takamura, blocker lets you block stuff. So that also implies that you can't just normally block stuff like magic or anything like that. All right. They really just like flash you with the stuff. So here we have Pan Am. So a lot of this stuff, we're not going to get a lot of information on this. This is just a legend. It has 3 here and 4 here, and that's it. Like, she has no effects that we can see from this card. So we have Pan Am, we have Jackie. Oops, that was Jackie Wells, Mama's favorite. So we have Jackie Wells. We have my girl Judy. The cards really don't stay up for very long. So he's a 3 cost 4 power. Judy here. 3 cost 4 power. Maybe these are like the standard ones, right? Maybe these are just like your starter legends. Nothing to doubt. Judy Alvarez. Because like the Lucy we saw, she has an effect. She has overclocking. And she has no power down here. Curiouser. All right. Wake up, Samurai. Wake up, Samurai. We've got a deck to build. Okay, so here's some other extra things we can glean. We'll talk about this V card because I think we'll see it later. But here's this Emergency Atlas, 5 cost, 9 power. Attack, you may flip one of your legends. Yeah, dude, starting face down. They're going to do something. We have Saburo we already talked about. Chrome Fang, we don't really have any information. And then whatever this is. Oh, this is a Jackie Wells card. It says, you have less street cred than your opponent. Your Jackie Wells units gain KER. Hacker? Maybe? Potentially? There's Takamura just laying the smackdown. Okay, so we have this Corporate V Legend card. So this one seems a little bit more involved. This one has 0 here, but 8 power, which is a lot. I'm not sure if this is the cost or maybe like resources that they generate or something. I don't know. Why is this 0 and then also has an 8, which seems really good. Like a 0 cost 8. There's got to be something here. She has solo, and then it says the first time your opponent discards a card from the top of their deck, each turn you may draw a card. That seems good. That seems really good. And I think we already established that solo kind of this one says go solo. I'm not sure if there's a difference between solo and go solo, but go solo gives you haste essentially. So this one might be similar or might be different. And then you can equip them up, lock and load. Crush rivals. There's a Atom Smasher here. Once again, 3 and 4 with no effect. So this one feels like maybe like, you know, like the starter deck legend or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're going to see any more cards. I think there's just some dialogue. But I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it. We'll let this finish playing out, but dude, I'm really stoked for this. You don't make a name for yourself as a cyberpunk by how you live. You make a name by how you die. Go out in a blaze of glory, or be forgotten. Yeah, dude. I'm really stoked. Yeah, by the way, you can follow for the Lucy card that we've shown a couple times. Yeah, this Lucy card. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Like I said, at first glance, it looks kind of like, here's the mana cost, here's the attack. But there's some weird stuff going on. We're going to have to figure out what gigs are, street cred, how the legend thing works. They're obviously face down and they flip up at some point. There's obviously stuff that cares about units, like Saburo pumps up all of your units, like by +1 power, or all of your Arasaka units. And then it says units steal an extra gig for every 10 power, whatever that means. So overall, I'm incredibly excited for this. This is a shot to the top of my the watch list, I guess you could say, for 2026 for TCGs. There are some games that come and go that I'm like, yeah, well, I'm kind of interested. I check out all the trading card games. I play them all to some extent, but this one I'm very interested in. Obviously because I really like Cyberpunk, but also because it looks kind of interesting, and I love like the mission statement, as I mentioned, about the people who are making it, as well as just a lot of the stuff going on here. It gives me just good vibes. So let's go ahead and go back to me. Oh, hello. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the Cyberpunk TCG in the comment section down below. We'll have a lot more videos on this as more spoilers run out and we get more mechanics, because I definitely want to talk about this one a lot more, and I definitely want to dive into how the mechanics work. It seems pretty interesting. It feels like a touch of familiar and a touch of the unfamiliar, or something unique, and I'm hoping for it to be like some mesh of the two, because I think those kind of games can be really interesting. You have stuff like Godzilla, which is crazy, like way different, and then you also have stuff like I'm even gonna say like a Gundam, which it feels very familiar to people who play games that are like unit based. So having something that's like a mix between something way out there and like a familiar thing, I think it could be a good thing. And I think having new developers and new like TCG publishers on the market is just a good thing in general, because some of the companies can kind of feel a little samey, you know. They release a lot of games, and a lot of the games can maybe feel a little bit samey. So having some like new fresh stuff out there with the backing, like official backing of CD Projekt Red, I think is just really good. So that's all I have to say about the Cyberpunk TCG today. Let me know what you think. I'm really excited for it. Thank you all so much for watching. Maybe like, comment, subscribe, hype, and we'll see you for some more TCG content in the very near future. Have a good one, everyone. See you later.